Hey all you beautiful people, it's me Amanda, and I'm here today in the garden, and it's been a while since I've done a video about the garden. Um, got a lot of new stuff growing and a lot of things that didn't withstand the heat. These are my mother-in-law's, and I mean you can see that we do have a couple little flowers who are pulling through here, but not many. For those of you who don't know, the Pacific Northwest had like record high temperatures. Here it only got to about 108, which I mean, there were others got a lot hotter. It was kind of like a feels like 113. And I was really worried about a lot of the garden, but thankfully, most things seem to have done pretty well. So I'm going to take you around and show you some of what I've got growing here. So these are lemon cucumbers that my mother-in-law planted. And they survived the heat. We do have a bit of yellowing on a leaf down in there. But other than that, they're doing pretty good. And then these are all bean plants I got from somebody who traded me for tomato starts for some bean plants. And you can see that this one here is doing a great job of climbing up the trellis. So it's doing its job. As you can see, they're not really filled in very well, but we've got these guys over here. And these seem like they're growing pretty well. We've got some plants here on the end, and we've got a lot of beans and squash, and I think I planted some gourds over here too that would climb, and some melons. I think actually these might all be melons. I'm trying to remember what I planted where. Silly me, didn't mark anything. This and this are both either squash or melon, and then everything in this back bed here is all different varieties of squash. So we did plant another one over here that was supposed to be a giant pumpkin, and unfortunately did not make it. So we've got all of these. We will have lots of squash, and they're all doing pretty good, especially this guy here. There's that one, and then that guy there. They're doing really well. Over here I have onions. These are Walla Walla onions. They did not do too well for me this year. And then I had some over here that, since this bud wasn't properly marked, they actually got mowed down. Then over here we've got some carrots and beets and turnips that are all coming up way late. I planted them literally months ago, and yeah, we had a chicken get in here and basically eat all of the sprouts out of this bed on different occasions. So I'm just kind of letting things grow as they will. And then these are all red onions, and almost every one of these little onion sets that I planted are doing great. Like, they're getting huge. So over here we have potatoes, lots of potatoes, and we have more potatoes, which I actually need to hill these guys up. And then over here, I think these are melon plants. Got that one and that one, and they're probably going to get pretty big. And then on this trellis, I've got cucumbers, and this is some lettuce here. Got a tomato there. Looks like something's been snacking on my tomato. I think these are beets. I got these from somebody who had just planted them in a clump, so I just replanted them how they were. And then there's another lettuce there that's not doing as well. And then over here I have more bean plants, and this is a pineapple pole tomato. I actually need to prune it. And then this, I don't remember the name of this plant, but apparently it's supposed to be like celery. But it's pretty, actually. And then I've got my peppers over here. This one looks like it's kind of sad. It's seen better days. This one's actually fruiting. There's a little baby pepper right there. And another one right there. And this one's actually starting to fruit too. So I don't know how many peppers I'm actually going to get from them, but they're doing pretty good. And then here, cardboard that flew all over my garden. I think this is a melon plant. These are small, like personal size melons. They're only going to get about that big. And then I've got my peppers over here. And these ones are doing pretty well. And these are actually shallots. And I'm surprised how huge they've gotten. I didn't plant those very long ago at all. And these are all my tomatoes. And I have 22 varieties, guys. I planted them late, so they're a little behind the curve. But it actually kind of worked out that I started my tomatoes late because we got a nasty frost that killed a lot of tomatoes for people. So, but we've actually got little blossoms starting right here. And this is funny. I actually planted this tomato plant here. And I thought, and as you can see, I really need to do some weeding. But I thought it had died. So I planted another plant here that was not very strong either. And now they're both growing. So I might have to thin those, but these guys are all looking pretty good. This tomato plant is probably the one that was the most damaged by the heat. I tried to cover it, but it didn't work so well. And this one's also a little sad, but most of them did pretty good. Some of them are smaller than others, but I'm getting lots of little blossoms starting. And there's a pepper plant that's getting another pepper on it. Oh, and we've got some little blossoms on this guy too. How exciting. Excuse me, little ones. What are you doing in my garden? Go on, get out of there. Get out of there. Go on, go by your mama. Some of you might remember that we had a whole entire bed of garlic here. And as you can see, it's empty now. We actually had to pull most of it right before we had the big heat. There's still a little bit that's in the ground here. And that's actually probably going to come out in the next day or two here. Because it's getting dying back quite a bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull one now and show you guys. Look at that, guys. It's a big ol' honking head of German white garlic. And they have not split open, so that's good. You don't want your garlic to split because then you have to use it faster. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm actually going to take it out over here. And I have a little area set up where I'm curing my garlic. And I'm just kind of draping it over a chair. Sometimes you just got to work with what you got. So I actually laid a bunch here out on these black planting trays, and it's up off the ground. There's enough airflow, and most of it, like these other varieties I picked, it's pretty well dried out. So what I'm going to do is cut off right about here for the neck, and then I'll trim off these roots and stick it in a paper bag. But we've got quite a bit of garlic. I mean, all of that is garlic. I'm not complaining though, because here's the thing. I did spend buku bucks on garlic to start. I think I spent $20 on 3 different varieties of garlic. So I've actually got all of that. I planted like 3 pounds of garlic, and I think it's pretty safe to say I got more than 2 or 3 times that. So I'm gonna have garlic to replant, and I'm gonna have garlic to eat. So hopefully, if I play my cards right, that $20 I spent on garlic will be good for hopefully the rest of my life. Megan's gonna harvest some more garlic because it is ready.
Look at that. That's a good size.
That is. The German white got really big.
Yeah.
The other 2 didn't get as big, but... And our elephant garlic did not take off the way we hoped.
I mean, it was store-bought.
Yeah, it was store-bought, so it could have been treated with something to make it not grow.
Whoa!
Holy smokes, man.
That's awesome.
That is going to be a replanting head.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty big. That's why it's lucky.
So we've got 11 heads there. Plus all these guys here. So just a little bit of garlic.
Only a little bit.
Only, I mean, we'll only be able to keep like maybe 3 vampires away with all this.
3 at most.
3 at most, yeah. You have
One
to have
at
like
least.
a proper garlic braid for each vampire.
Yep.
We can't even braid this garlic.
Nope.
This is all hard neck. Lame sauce.
How do you want me to lay this out?
So we've got the garlic harvested. That's curing. And then we'll be harvesting some of the potatoes soon. I forgot to show you, but this bed behind me, guys, it's all potatoes. Like the whole length of the fence. So if nothing else, we'll have garlic and potatoes coming out of our noses. So we're not gonna starve. Might not be the most nutritious thing, but we're not gonna starve. Kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why I haven't done a lot of videos recently. And then, you know, for those of you who've maybe been following along with the channel a little bit, you'll know that we actually have 2 daughters who live in Wisconsin. And back in May, they both came out together. Our eldest had to go back a few days later because she's employed and she's got a puppy, and so she had to go take care of her responsibilities, and it was really hard to see her go. But today, our other Wisconsin daughter went back to Wisconsin to be with her mom, and she was only here for 2 months, and I really was trying to make the most of the 2 months that we had with her. So I didn't record a lot. I didn't post a lot on Instagram. I was just trying to really focus on the family and spending time with one of our kiddos who we don't have for the whole year. And it actually kind of bummed her out because she wanted to be in more of the YouTube videos. She was featured in our last video a little bit. She did some of the recording for me, which was really nice. But I didn't record as much as I normally do because I wanted to have that quality time with her. So I'm hoping to resume a more normal posting schedule both on here and on Instagram, making sure that I'm getting some content created and that you guys can keep following along with our adventures here. And we also had that really extreme heat. We had most of the animals made it through. We almost lost a couple chickens with the extreme heat we had. And then we actually did lose one of the rabbits. Our rabbits aren't for food, they're outdoor pets. And they're outdoor pets because rabbits can be stinky, and we have kind of a small house. So I wasn't trying to cram the rabbits in the house with us and have the additional smells associated with that. So we put them outside, and the days where we had the really bad heat, we were actually getting ready to bring them in when we found that one of them, the male, Remus, had passed. And we tried doing what we could to focus on everybody, but it wasn't enough. So we did have one loss here, but and we had a couple close calls, but thankfully everybody else made it through. We got through the heat okay.
Ow.
It was pretty miserable for a few days.
We've got to hill up more potatoes.
Yes, we do. We do need to hill up our potatoes. Why did I almost say tomatoes? You don't hill tomatoes. You hill potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I need a nap, guys.
Speaking of which, I think those ones might be ready for harvest.
They're getting close. We've got a few on the end that are starting to wilt, and once they start to yellow and die back a little more, they will be ready to harvest. So, and we weeded the other day, and it looks like nothing was done. I'm really hoping next year to do raised beds and drip irrigation because I'm getting tired.
Weeds are insane.
Yeah, the weeds are crazy. They're hard to stay on top of, but we'll figure it out. I mean, it's our first year doing a large scale garden like this, so there's a learning curve that comes with it, and
I'm gonna fight your goat.
we're at least trying. Like, that's all.
She's your goat when she's a problem child.
Shalom is always a problem child.
So she's always your goat.
I don't know, man. That goat is something else. She's kind of a bully, like really bad, and it is definitely time to dye my hair again, guys.
I need to touch up my hair. Believe it or not, my hair isn't naturally black.
So, on that note, we're gonna hop off here and apparently
Go yell at the goat.
go yell at the goat because she's being a jerk face again. I hope y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.